Hi everybody, I'm Corey, I'm the Dungeon Master, and I just wanted to thank you for coming back to this next episode. Remember to follow and subscribe, it really helps us out, and the more people who do that, the more people who don't know who we are get to see us and get to enjoy what we do. So, without further ado, here's the episode, and have fun! Hi everybody, I'm Corey, I'm the Dungeon Master. Welcome to another episode of Opportunity Roll. I'm here with Group 1. Say hi everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
So let's go ahead and go down the line, then we'll do a quick kind of recap, and then we'll get started. Let's start with Eve.
Hi, I'm Eve, and I play Charity, the Tiefling Cleric.
And Gunny.
Hi, I'm Gunny, and I play Tensel Loster, the Elven Barbarian.
Neko.
Hey, I'm Neko, and I play Winters, the Human War Cleric.
Fucking nailed it. Red.
Slow clap. Hi, I'm Red, Etta, and I'm playing your whimsical bud, Maggie.
And Zeek.
Hi, I'm Zeek. I play Nia the Warlock.
Alright, so last time we gamed, you guys had been traveling. You guys are on the road, heading as quickly as you can to your destination, and you know that in just a couple of days, Kroka is about to have this big festival. Of course, along the road, you guys ran into a few odd things so far. One was the crystal, which started you on this whole thing, and then from there, things got a little bit weirder. You got two new members. You got Gunny and you got, you got Tensel and you got Winters. Haven't really had downtime to really talk to each other yet. So it's kind of one of those things where it looks like the road is going to be long and windy on this one. Last time we left off, you guys had just fought this really weird bird-horned beaked creature, and it was really weird, and it's something I hadn't seen quite before. I don't think anybody was able to identify it, were they?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So I think that's where we're going to pick up. We're going to pick right back up after the whole weird orb situation and Edmund doing his transformation, which of course, like we described, his hair's a little bit longer, almost needs a cut. His clothes smaller, but not too tight. And you guys are just kind of standing around in this grassy-like area with this creature dead on the ground. Of course, by the way, not to mention, Maggie kicked it, finding out that there was acidic kind of secretion on the outside of it, which was really interesting.
It burnt her poor little footy foot.
So, I would say barely 3-4 minutes have passed at all. And standing in front of you, of course, is now, I'd say, roughly 21 years of age. So he's just kind of staring at himself in shock, really. I don't think he's quite processed it.
To be fair, I don't even think Maggie's processed what the hell just happened.
Tensel, during this moment, would be more concerned with staring at the creature.
You might see, like, a last-moment reflex. You know, like when the body's still realizing it's dying, so you might get a little wiggle.
And stab it.
Well, you will definitely confirm that it's dead, as your sword will sink through it. It will cease to move. It looks like you may have even cut the tendon that was getting that last moment kind of reflex.
You could still almost see like the anger kind of dying off in Tensel as he's coming off of his own rage at this point.
Charity's gonna turn to Tensel and just put a hand on her shoulder and be like, I wonder what that thing was.
I don't really know.
Is it normally from around here? By the way, Maggie has not taken her eyes off of Edmund at all.
Can Charity roll a history to try to answer that question?
Yeah, she could. So that's a 17. Now, what exactly are you, precisely are you looking for information-wise?
More or less, what is it, and is it common to this area?
Okay. With a 17, you know exactly this. It is not common. It seems to be nothing that you've read in books either. This thing seems to be a lot different. It's somehow demonic in a way, and yet still seems to be almost a mutation from like a natural form of life. But it's an extreme mutation.
Alright, Charity will turn to Maggie and smile, her tail kind of tucking between her legs, and she'll say, "Oh, it's definitely not common to this area. It doesn't look natural, to be honest."
Maggie's gonna blink. I didn't think so. So what do you guys think about what had just happened to Edmund? He's obviously older. What just happened and why?
I'm a freak. Oh my god, my voice. He's gonna kind of like grab his throat.
Edmund, that's what happens when you get older, sweetheart. You just forced yourself through 10 years of puberty.
I didn't do anything. That wasn't me.
Well, it happened, so hey, at least you get to skip the awkward stages of puberty.
Yeah.
Now you just have to catch up maturity-wise.
I mean, that's 10 years of my life gone.
To be fair, they're a pretty crappy 10 years. I think everybody agrees on that.
Well, that's because you've had them.
That's true.
Maggie's gonna put her hand on his arm and she's gonna be like, I don't know what to say, and I don't think anything we can say can help you through this, but she just doesn't know what to say. How could you give a child back 10 years of his life? You know what I mean? Like, what can you say in the situation? But
No,
she's
of course.
trying.
Yeah. He's, so, would it be too much to ask that we camp here for the night while I try to figure this out? Maybe it could still be reversible. And he's kind of like trying to hold on. You can see that. He's trying to hold on to the last little bit of hope.
Perhaps we should at least move a little bit further down from the road. I don't think it would be safe to attempt to move the bird, and I would prefer if we didn't camp next to it.
Maggie's gonna nod as she shows her now. Did it burn through my shoe, Corey? I was trying to remember if he did or not.
So it's more or less along the line of like a very mild thing that only interacts with like flesh. So your clothing and stuff like that are saturated in it, but it's not destroying or hurting your clothing. It will, however, like we talked about, discolor your skin.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, and Maggie hasn't seen her foot yet, so she is going to notice that it's still soaked, and she's going to be like, yes, I need to wash my clothing, and she's going to smell herself. Oh, and I think I need a bath. She's going to start looking for a stream.
Do me a quick perception check.
Yay, a 16.
That is a good 16. You don't hear or see any running water. With as far as you are in towards the Poke Plains, the Poke Plains. I think you might remember that about an hour ago you guys passed a small stream, but that's all that you can remember, and it was heading kind of north and south versus east-west, so it's kind of passed you by.
Maggie's gonna sigh and be like, I guess I'll just wait till we either get into town or something, but I do need to at least let my clothes dry.
Edmund will kind of look over and snap a finger, and he'll actually do that a couple of times because it's only like 1 cubic foot. So he'll kind of clean you from top to bottom as far as non-living material. I think that because I read over this, it can create scents, but it can't clean it can't clean living material, so it's not useful for showers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Maggie will smile brightly and be like, "Thank you, Edmund."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, should we get rid of this, creature?
I wouldn't touch it.
I have
Yeah,
an
if we
idea.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need to move away from it.
That too, but also burn it.
Oh yeah, that's my idea.
Good idea.
Yeah. It's important. So Edmund will, seeing as though you guys are on the right course to kind of get moving a little bit, he will hop down off of the cart, just kind of come up to the front here and hop down to the side next to Winters. Winters, you're actually, how tall is your character?
6'2".
Okay, so he's about 5'7", so he's still just under you. He was like half your height. He's probably only got a few inches under you, so that's a big major difference that you could notice. But he'll take a side step to the side step, and then he'll kind of wait for you guys to move along with him.
He's 5
Yeah, we'll
inches.
come right along.
Maggie's 5'2". She's so short.
Here we go. So he's going to pull out his book. He's going to flip through a couple of pages, and he's going to read to himself a little bit. And then he's going to do a couple of hand movements and cast. And he's going to cast Fireball and just explode this just pit. It's going to burn increasingly. So let's see what Fireball does. So as a actual attack, it's a bright streak flashes from your pointing finger to a point you choose within range. Of course, this is the creature in question. Then blossoming with a low roar and explosion of flames, each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on the point must make a dexterity saving throw. A target takes 8d6 fire damage on a failed save, half as much on a successful. The fire spreads around corners and ignites flammable objects in that area that aren't being worn or carried. And of course, it gets stronger with every level above. So, you're just going to see he's going to read, point a finger, kind of like Hagrid's like little flame thing that he does near the fire in the very first Harry Potter, and just...
I love the sound effect.
But you'll see it just like erupt and burn. But eventually the grass and everything that'll kind of come down, and you'll just see this slightly smoldering heap of like ash and maybe even a bone, if you're lucky.
Maggie's gonna blink because she knew that Edmund was strong, but now that he's older, she's just like, whoa. You know what I mean? She's gonna look over at Tensel like, oh boy.
Tensel is going to be confused and then like look to her and shrug and question.
She'll lean over and be like, he wasn't always this strong.
I'm glad he's on our side.
I would have to agree with you on that one.
Mia nods. Vigorously.
I'm
So
glad I'm glad I was so nice to him.
So if you guys are over here, he'll wait till the fire's out. He wants to make sure it's out. He might even kick a little bit of dirt into maybe a residual flame, kind of put that out, and then he'll kind of walk over to you, the group, and kind of just hop up onto the back end of the cart here. And you're going to see he's going to kind of pull through his backpack. And as he's rifling through it, he's going to take the deceased man's clothing.
Oh, God.
And he's going to start putting it on himself. It's not so bad. It was in a backpack, so there's no blood on it. And when he puts it on, he finds that near similar size. So the pants are a little tight, and the shirt is a little baggy, but not so bad. And he'll just kind of look at you guys, kind of keeping an eye around on what you guys is doing next.
Maggie's going to try not to make too much a big deal about this as much as she can because she knows it's kind of a sore spot for him right now. So she's going to start looking at the others as she's going to start finding a spot to camp and like start gathering firewood and all that stuff once they find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move up ahead on the road a little bit so we're not near. And she'll kind of like look over to the charred, like huge ass circle in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Let's move further away from that.
Maggie's going to nod. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Very.
Sorry, I wanted it dead.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, it's definitely dead. Well, I suppose there's no way to tell, really, because there's nothing really left.
Well,
And Nia kind of, like, looks off into the distance, like, pondering that.
Well, I mean, if nothing else, it would have gotten rid of that slime, hopefully, so no one who just randomly steps on it without paying attention will get hurt.
That's true. How's your foot? And she'll look over at Maggie's foot, still covered in slime. Or, well, he cleaned it, but she knew it was once covered in slime.
Maggie's going to look at Nia and blink, and then she'll be like, it's fine as far as I can tell. I can still move it. And she's going to, like, wiggle her toes in her boot. And she's going to be like, it moves fine. I haven't really got a chance to look at it, but I think I'll look at it whenever we get into camp.
That sounds like a good idea. All right, let's get going then.
Okay. So there's going to be something I need Maggie to do for me.
Uh-oh, okay.
A little while ago, you picked up something from a strange altar.
Okay.
You're gonna see, just kind of off in the distance, for like a split second, you were going to see this relatively older maid who helped kind of raise you as a child. She was sweet. She wasn't very close to you. But she did take good care of you. However, she's been deceased for 12 years.
Okay.
You're going to notice this. You're going to clearly make those distinct features, and you're going to blink, and she's going to be gone.
Maggie's face is whoever's looking at her right now, or if anyone's looking at her right now. Her eyes are going to widen a little bit, and then she's going to have, like, her mouth agaped. And then she's just going to, like, shake her head as if she saw something, and then just try to keep it to herself, because she has freaked out a lot, and she can't handle that right now, freaking out again, so she's just going to be like, and then she's going to be like, so can we go now?
Yeah, I'm already getting the stuff together.
Oh, okay, let me help. And then she's gonna, like, try to distract herself.
Okay. Alright, so I would say it wouldn't take you guys long to get everything saddled up, because you were pretty much packed before. A couple minutes just to kind of get your bearings, and then you will move down the road again, which would kind of get you at this really nice place. It's on the thinner side of trees. You mostly got some rose bushes to the side of you to the right, and maybe a scattering of like weeded flowers. So they're pretty, but they're not really good for the the environment.
As we were traveling to there, Tensel would have been kind of pacing himself behind the cart.
Okay. Is he like lost in thought, or?
He would seem more of almost distancing himself. Kind of concerned with his ability to protect them.
Oh no, Tensel!
A few different thoughts are running through his mind. Am I able to actually keep up with them? Can I keep up with my own father's thoughts and dreams of me? A few things just kind of running through his mind. He almost would seem distant and ashamed as he's just making his way in the back.
Can I? Never mind. Maggie's distracted, so never mind.
All right, so we got Tensel leading behind, probably about 10 feet. Jericho's kind of moving. Gunny, since you're kind of following behind, give me a quick perception. Winters as well. Anybody who's in the cart probably won't see this. Well, that's a 20. That's 24. So, Winters, you're probably going to... Oh, that's right. That's an 18. Yeah. So, Gunny, the first thing you're going to see is the cart is moving, but it's not nearly as fast as it was before. There's going to seem to be a little bit of kind of resistance. And the more you kind of look over it, the cart seems fine. There's no damage, the wheels are on properly, the bearings are good, the wood is sturdy. So it really only leaves one thing. You are going to notice that one of the legs of Jericho is discolored.
Oh no!
You don't know when it could have happened, but it doesn't look good, and you can't quite figure out what it is. Shortly, just barely after that, Winters, you're going to notice the distinct change, and then as it kind of leans heavily to one side, you're going to notice the front left leg is just not doing good.
Winters is going to stop the cart and hop out and then begin to inspect Jericho's leg.
Okay.
What's wrong?
There's the same discoloration that Maggie has, but it's on Jericho's leg.
Oh, that's not good. She'll hop out and just stare at it. She can't do anything, but she'll stare at it.
Tensel would run around worried about Jericho at this point and put a hand on his back and be looking at this.
Charity's gonna jump out of the cart and head around to Jericho and have a look at it. And it's the same kind of discoloration, isn't it, as Maggie?
Yes.
Alright. Can she attempt to cast Luster Restoration on it?
You could attempt it, yes. While she's doing that, though, it's going to be a little spooked, unfortunately, because it's got this strange-looking creature to the side of it. Of course, I don't think maybe this has been around a tiefling yet. If I could get... Gunny, give me a quick animal handling. Just kind of shush it. Do it with advantage because, of course, this is an animal that you've been dealing with for quite some time. Ooh, that's nice. That's a 19. So you... Perfect. You get this... you get Jericho calm. He, kind of takes a breath and it kind of ups and downs its head, kind of noticing the familiar hand of you, of course. So with Lesser Restoration, you can touch a creature and can end either one disease or one condition affecting it. The condition can be blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. You can get rid of the poisoned, much like as we did with the healing. The discoloration and maybe a bit of the pain might continue to linger. And that's kind of what Charity's going to come back with after the spell is fully done. And it's going to be that way even for the discoloration. There's going to be discomfort even for, it's just the way it is. Maggie might even have this upon her severity. It depends.
I don't think we should make Jericho keep pulling the cart.
I agree.
Maggie's gonna jump down from the cart and she's gonna look over the leg. So, what do you want me to roll for that medicine, or what?
It depends. Are you looking at it as, have you read anything before, or are you looking at it as, medical books have explained this?
I'm just trying to see what Maggie can do to help,
Roll me a history, because you would be more well-versed in history. Maybe you might have read a book on it or something, but as far as medical, I don't think she'd have a lot of experience.
Yeah, no, understandable. 13.
That's a 13. So there are certain things similar to it. Back when you were in the Bardic College, you read about a certain frog that its secretions would be deadly poisonous. You couldn't touch it. If you did, your skin would normally turn black and just look nasty. This looks like kind of a self-defense mechanism similar to it, but not exactly it, because the skin is kind of like darkened but not black, so it's not as severe.
Maggie is gonna look at them and stuff like that, and she's gonna be like, is he in pain?
Oh, are you asking that to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yes, he would probably still be in pain. I mean, I've taken the poison out of it, but what damage is done is gonna hurt for a while.
If no one's going to stop him, Tensel's going to start unhooking Jericho from the cart.
Okay.
Would cure wounds help at all?
At this point, it's much like the cure wounds that you put on yourself. It can get rid of the poison and bring back the HP, but it can't really do much for the discomfort. So generally, he'd be okay. In a couple of days, he'd heal and be as right as new, but right now there is that general discomfort.
Maggie's gonna nod and she's gonna sigh a little bit and she's gonna be like, so I guess we're making camp here?
That would be
Yeah.
that would be a good plan, yes.
Okay. And Maggie's gonna start taking things from the cart and looking for firewood and stuff like that.
So at this point would be trying to lead Jericho to a little bit of a soft patch in the grass and get him to bed down.
No, I'd say that's pretty simple. It's not feeling too good, so no roll there. You're going to take it over to this nice little patch just by some trees. It's got some overhang. You might even see a little bit of like crunchier leaves as they've kind of fallen from the tree and died. So it creates like this softer bed. Jericho will kind of lean down, take a good mouthful, maybe even pull up some dirt. It might splatter your chest a little bit. And just kind of nom on things in his mouth. Like I said, you can see discomfort, but it's not horrible.
It's okay, Jericho. You can rest for a while. So he's then gonna like pet him a little bit and start looking around for any kind of food that he would eat. Some grass, maybe some berries.
All right, well, give me a quick survival. You'll definitely be able to find food because there's plenty of grass. But let's see if you find anything special. That's a 13. So there are these smaller saplings that are really interesting to wildlife. They love them. It's almost like catnip for cats. They grow infrequently, and they're somewhat not found in the Poke Plains. They're mostly found in the Hera Fields, which is north. But these are delectable to these animals. Though they are fattening, and not all too good for them, so having a lot of them in a sitting is not good. I would say with a 13, you'd find in a grouping maybe 3.
Tensel would take out his hand axe and chop down 2 of them and kind of bushel them together and cut like little pieces off of them to kind of put before Jericho. And just put the rest in his pack for later.
Okay. Yeah, he would definitely show interest. As soon as his eyes got on him and his nose could take in the scent, Jericho will just kind of go straight for him like a dog with a bone. You'll notice that it's a little bit tougher to chew, so it's going to take him a while. So these treats are actually going to last him. Rather than, if you give a dog like the fake bacon, they'll chomp it down in like a few seconds to be done. This is going to take a while. What's everybody else doing?
I'm probably just helping set up the camp.
All right.
Charity will be coming over here and helping set up camp.
Okay.
Winters will kind of walk over to Edmund and kind of like pat him on the shoulder and kind of give him his kind of condolences, if that's the right word. Kind of just be like, yeah, sorry that happened, but look on the bright side. Now we can actually train together. And he's gonna kind of hand him a shield and like pick up like a stick off the ground, like a good long stick, and kind of hand it to him.
I appreciate it. I really do. I'm more the thinking type than the fighting type.
He's gonna like, kind of like
Sorry.
sorry. He's just gonna kind of like slap the shield that he gave him, and then kind of be like, "Come on, we'll cheer you up."
Can Maggie notice this or no?
Yeah, I was about to say the same for Tensel.
All Maggie was good. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd say with the way that the map looks, I think Maggie might be a little bit more preoccupied with the fire. So maybe it's kind of like, since it's on the cart right behind you, you might be able to hear it if you want to roll perception, but I wouldn't say you'd see it. Tensel, with the way you're sitting, it's like right in your line of view, just diagonal from Jericho. So I'd say
22.
Yeah, you hear it.
Maggie's gonna tilt her.
Natural 20.
Yeah. Maggie's gonna tilt her head to the back and be like, "It'll be good for you, Edmund. You can't always rely on magic."
I could use the help as well.
Sure.
Edmund might grumble a little bit. Visibly irritated, but not at anybody in particular, so he's not like shooting anybody a dirty look. He's just generally not happy.
Winters is like fine with it. He's not like disgruntled by it at all. Since he used to be a soldier, it's not like, yeah.
If you'd like, you could take some time to kind of get your bearings. I mean, this is a lot to take in right now.
I'd like a haircut first. And he's going to kind of motion to his just below shoulder length. Like, this thing is probably about mid-chest. It's long and scraggly.
Maggie was gonna offer to cut his hair whenever he was ready.
Yeah, at this point, he's like pulling his bangs out of his face just to like look at people directly. How about a rain check then? And he's gonna kind of not like shove the thing, but he'll gingerly hand it back, not trying to be rude about it. I promise I'll learn something. I need time.
I understand. He kind of like, not yells up, he kind of like raises his voice a bit so everyone else can hear. Do any of you know how to cut hair?
Maggie's gonna perk up a little bit and be like, I used Sure, I could try. I mean, I used to cut my own hair. And she's gonna look at how it's grown, and she's gonna be like, it's kind of grown up. But anyways, come over here, Edmund. Come on.
Let's see. He would grab his backpack and the 2 books that he has. He'll come to the other side. Of course, before he does, he'll kind of nod to Winters as if to say thank you. And he'll take that 5-step kind of down to get to the ground, and then move over towards Maggie and just kind of flop in the grass by the road, throw everything kind of to the side, and kind of grab the books. And he's literally going to hold his magic book, his spell book, in his left hand, and he will take the book that Maggie had given him, the one that has the interesting spells in it that it's a little bit difficult because it's a different school of magic. So he's got to kind of like translate it into a way that he can use. And Maggie, if you're peering over his shoulder, first thing I'm going to need is a dex check when you're ready. And we'll just have that for the hair, but we'll get there. But give me a quick perception. To kind of see if you can make out anything written in the books or notes or anything.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's 9. So, quick question for you, Maggie.
Yes?
How are you cutting his hair, and what are you cutting it with?
I was just gonna do, do you think that in their traveling kit they would have at least, like, sewing scissors? Or at least some sort of scissors? Because they would use it to sew with whenever they're traveling.
I don't think scissors were that common back then.
Well, I guess I'm using a knife then.
You might have shears, which are close enough, which they might use for, like, animals and stuff. Which are fairly similar.
I'm a noble, so I have a knife.
True. Yeah.
So she's gonna motion for him to sit in front of her, and she's gonna like get on her knees and stuff like that, like sitting on her legs. And she's gonna pull out one of her brushes, because I know she has a brush or something, and she's gonna start brushing his tangled hair, which she probably will accidentally pull.
Well, let's pause there, because for a minute he's going to sit in your lap. And then you're going to remember that he's 21 years old and he weighs 125 pounds. Not a baby no more.
Edmund, sweetheart. Not trying to be rude, but you're too big for that now.
Oh, shit. I can say shit now, right?
Sure, why not? Just get off, please.
Shit. And he'll get up. And just kind of scoot maybe an inch or 2 in front of you. And sit back down.
Maggie's just gonna like gingerly brush his hair and try to be as motherly as she can with him.
Okay. Do me a quick dex check. And while you're doing that, let's kind of catch up with the other guys. Because I know Tensel and Gunny want some training. And let's see what Charity and Nia are up to. Ooh, that's an 8.
Can I use Lucky on that?
Yes, you may.
Since everybody else seems to have abandoned setting up camp, Nia will just kind of shrug and set up the camp by herself.
Oops, my bad.
That's a 23. That's a natural
20 haircut.
That's a dang good haircut. I think, so the style that you're going to end up cutting, it's almost like a bowl cut. You're going to get like really close to the skin around most of the back end of the head. And you're going to kind of overlap and kind of give them a little bit longer bangs that kind of part in the front. Now, there's a lot of hair in the back, and it's actually really nice once you brush it out. So you kind of give it like into this little braided kind of rat's tail, ponytail almost look. And it's a little bushy at the end, almost like a paintbrush. All in all, after you're done, it's going to look like a really great cut. Yeah, you would probably feel really proud of that.
Maggie's gonna smile brightly and she's be like, alright, I'm done.
Nia will look over and just clap.
Yeah, I'd say probably about that time Nia might finally get that fire started with the flint and the steel and just get the fire rolling. Of course not the because it's not going to explode, but you catch my drift.
Please God, no.
Fireball.
I don't wish to die.
Alright. So, so Winters and Gunny, I think you guys might move over about here. Does this look good?
Yeah, that's fine.
15, 20 feet away from the area, so you still have some light, but it's just thinning.
Before completely getting ready to, spar with Winters, Tensel will look over to the group and kind of like peer over them. And then he'll sit a little bit back and walk over to Nia. Nia,
Yeah.
you were pretty good in that last fight. Would you mind helping?
Oh, sure. No problem. I'll be honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just kind of, do what feels right. But if I can help,
Thank
I'd
you.
be happy to.
Then Tensel will kind of, nod to her, giving her the respect that he believes she deserves for that fight,
Aw.
because that was amazing. And he's stunned by it. And then walk back over to Winters and be ready to spar with the both of them.
Yeah, Neil, come on over and get her sword out and summon her sword and get her shield out.
Okay.
Of course, Tensel will draw both of his long swords kind of a little bit awkwardly, still getting used to handling both of them at the same time.
All right.
Winters is kind of like takes off his pack and everything that's kind of heavy on him, and he just pulls out the. This time he's going to be using who was it? The red sword and shield, that magic one that we found that burned, those burned bodies.
Oh, yeah. The really heavy ones that get lighter when you use them both?
Yeah, those.
Okay.
And he's just going to train with those since he hasn't used them yet.
Okay. Alrighty. So, we're going to make a couple of checks for you guys while you train. Charity, what would you be doing?
At this point, Charity's probably just going to be relaxing and, just praying for the night while she waits for Maggie and Edmund to be done.
Okay. Let's see. Do me a quick 1d100.
55.
Okay. So, with a 55, I mean, you're not really going to feel much of anything different. But I assume that every so often, Charity might kind of find her hand moving to her missing horn. Because you're kind of praying, and it's along the teachings of the following, you might feel a little bit, just a sliver more of growth. Not significant, but enough to notice.
Awesome. She'll probably be pretty happy about that.
So I know you guys saw Maggie did a roll for me, which was a perception of 17. With the 17, Maggie, you're going to notice, just kind of after cleaning up, you're kind of brushing some of the hair away, looking around on the ground, just kind of pulling the hair together to get it away. Upon your collecting, you're going to pick up this, it's a crystal. It's another...
Not another one!
Yeah, but this one seems a little bit older. It seems like it's got some kind of held wear to it. The glass, or the crystal itself is kind of a little bit more foggier. Maybe a couple of more visible nicks in the actual, it might have like small chips out of it from where it's had a few years of rough wear.
This was out of Edmund's hair?
It was collected off the ground from around Edmund after cutting his hair.
Okay. I thought it was from his hair. I was like, What
No,
grew
no.
out of his head? Is he growing crystals out of his ass? Like, what's going on?
It'd be creepy.
That would be. That's why I'm asking.
The Crystal Wizard.
No thanks.
Special attack, fart crystal.
Oh no.
That'd be an excellent attack.
Nauseous gas just everywhere.
Not only is it a piercing attack, but it's also an area of effect. Everybody within 20 feet get gross damage of a 1d4 and sickness subtracting 5 feet from their movement because of grossness. Take it, use it, I don't care, have fun with it.
Oh my god.
So, getting to the 3 training. Now, I don't suspect you guys are flat out just bassing each other with these weapons. You're not trying to hurt each other. So, I don't really want you to roll attacks, because this is training. So let's do dexterity rolls for all 3 of you. And then we'll do intelligence rolls. And just kind of see... well, no, we won't do intelligence, we'll do wisdom, because wisdom makes more sense, because I'm going to explain it to you. That's a dexterity of a 19. That's not bad. That's really good.
I was uh-ohing you changing it from intelligence to wisdom.
Oh, sorry. That's a 1.
Oh.
That's a natural 1.
Nia kicks your asses.
You go,
Again,
Nia.
why I respect her.
You go, Nia. You go, boo boo.
So, as you guys are training, go ahead and now give me intelligence saving throws.
Did you actually...
sorry.
Wisdom.
Yeah, sorry, wisdom. I apologize. I said wisdom.
Saving throws?
Yes.
Oh,
Or
I'm better at
let's
that.
just do straight wisdom then. So I don't think you need to save anything from this. I apologize. I'm trying to put this together at last minute. Okay, so we'll just take it as it is. So we got a 19 for Gunny, 5 for Nia, or sorry, a 19 for Tensel, 5 for Nia, and a 16 for Winters. So, though Nia, you won the battle, they have gotten an insight into more of how you fight. And so by kind of watching you and perceiving you, they're getting kind of an understanding of how you move, the techniques that you use that might be fairly different because you're more agile than anything. You're not strength-based. So everything that you're doing is flash and finesse, and maybe it's just, a flick of the wrist here and a dash of just quickness. And so I'd say that Gunny and Winters, you guys are picking up on this pretty good. So each of you, for the next 24 hours, because of this training, you guys will get a +1 to any attack against an enemy.
Woo!
Woo!
Right.
And so that's how you do it, really. I don't really know what I'm doing, but, hopefully you've learned something.
I'm slowly learning how not to fall over myself.
Well, that's a pretty good important step in that, yeah.
You definitely have some strange techniques.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I don't really know how to do any of this, but, I can really pick up any kind of weapon and just, know how to use it now. So, I don't know.
Well, thank you for sparring with us.
Yeah, I hope it helped.
Winter, I would say you might also notice a small tidbit about Tensel's fighting style. So, Tensel himself is really quick. He's dexterous. The only problem is that his longsword, though it may be versatile, is not finesse. And so you're seeing that he's trying to get a mix of both strength and dex to it, but it's kind of throwing off his full balance. In your professional opinion, you might consider maybe a dex-based weapon that might kind of work for him a little bit better, or maybe something a little bit more fluid and deals with mostly dexterity, that he can actually move quickly with it, because these long swords, though they might be fantastically made, they're having a bit of an issue. with keeping up with his movements. So you're going to see like his wrist might bend a little bit more, giving off tells of his attack, which also kind of shows off the weight of the blade itself.
Tensel, about that longsword.
Yeah?
For the way you fight, I really don't think it's appropriate. When you swing the longsword, it's more like you're trying to make it dance with you, but the longsword is fighting against that. Have you thought of switching to maybe a scimitar or a rapier?
He's gonna like hold up one of the long swords, and you'll see it's a little bit more well crafted than the other. This one was my father's. I figured I should follow in his footsteps, and he's gonna hold up his own.
I see.
But if it's making me worse, I guess I can change.
I mean, we could probably see if we can get it balanced by a smith next time we get into town. Maybe that'll help.
They can
the way I see
do
it.
that?
Yeah. Longswords are made for different purposes.
I mean, you can also just like hold on to it because it's really pretty, and then just use something maybe you might be a little bit better at when you're fighting.
He's gonna like look to both of you, and you can see like the different ideas passing in his mind, and he can't decide. Like you can almost tell that he can't decide which one.
I know that feeling. It took me a really long time to kind of like settle on this. And she kind of like hefts the blade in her hand because it can be anything that I want, and I don't know. This just feels right. Maybe you have to do kind of the same thing. I mean, obviously, you can't like change that into other stuff, or can you?
He's gonna like kind of wiggle it around a little bit. It doesn't look like it's changing.
Okay, I mean, worth a shot. But maybe when we get in, we can just say like, pick up a bunch of stuff and see what feels good in your hands. That's that's kind of what I did.
Okay.
And then if nothing really feels as good as this, then we'll keep using this and get it balanced.
You're gonna see a smile start to cross his face.
She'll kind of smile back at him, and like, she doesn't really know how to like interact, so she just kind of like punches him in the shoulder, but like really lightly. But she's like seen you do it, or like you guys, like the ha ha. And she's like, "Ow, okay, I'm gonna go now."
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of go back over to the fire.
Okay.
So by this point, has it gotten, and how tired have we gotten from this?
I'd say you guys, after combat and now after training, you guys are pretty much at your limit. Because I mean, that was a lot of extenuating, stamina. Then, of course, you've had the stress of, the donkey being injured. You had the stress of the whole change going on, and it's been such a long day for you guys at this point. After carrying the cart most of the day as well, you guys are run down. As far as it goes for Tensel, because I know Tensel has not had a lot of good rolls as far as it's gone with the cart. I'd say any longer than maybe an hour, I might have to have Tensel and Winters maybe roll a Constitution for exhaustion, so that, because I mean, you two were the ones basically carrying the cart as well as Charity, but for the most part, she didn't really deal with a lot of the donkey to begin with that morning.
All right. Well, seeing as how worn out he's feeling, at first he's gonna try to like almost keep training on his own, but you he can definitely tell that his arms are getting heavy, his movements are slowing down, before he finally just stops and like takes a knee with both blades stabbing into the ground, kind of trying to support himself. He'll kind of just take a moment to breathe and go sit down next to Jericho and relax.
Okay.
Winters will just kind of like continue to push himself and keep training throughout the night.
Okay. The whole night, or just?
Yep. He it's been a while since he's kind of like felt the whole like soldiering thing, so he's gonna kind of push himself at least for today or for tonight.
All right. If you are going to be doing this all night, that means you guys probably won't need shifts if you guys are getting ready to head to bed. I would say, Winters, I might need you to make a Constitution save for at least 2 of the 4 watches until the morning.
That's fine.
Before that, would anybody else like to do anything around the fire, or?
I don't think so.
I would say that just before you guys are getting ready to turn in for the night, Edmund will kind of close the book that he was handed, and he'll hand over the book to Maggie. There's not much that is usable in there. Most of it's just small things. Vicious Mockery, maybe Message. I think there was Fairy Fire in there. The ones that did stick out, I made notes in there for you. It's there's a spell called Spider Climb and a spell called Firebolt.
Spider climb, you say?
Yeah. I made some notes. You might be able to kind of decipher them, and I tried to make it easy for anybody reading.
Maggie's gonna nod as she looks over spider climb, and what was the other one? Firebolt, you said?
Yes.
She's gonna start looking through both of those.
Okay. Firebolt might be relatively difficult for you, just because it's of its nature. It's not really attached to music in any sense of the form. Though with a little bit of tweaking, you might be able to add it to your cantrips. Maybe next time you level. That one will require you leveling. If you read over Spider Climb, however, with the way that your magic mixes in with certain things, it's actually going to work pretty well. So you could learn, if you studied up and did your studies, you could probably learn Spider Climb within a couple days.
Hell yeah!
So he'll hand that over, and then find his way to kind of like this area right over here, and put down this the sleeping bag he's been sleeping in, and he'll kind of pull off his boots and hop into it. You'll find that I'd say probably about mid shin and below is sticking out of the bottom of the sleeping bag.
Oh.
But he'll just kind of huff. He'll pull his bangs from his face and just roll over. If that is everybody's ready, let's go ahead and we'll do those 2 Constitution saving throws. And we'll see where Winters is in the very next morning. Plus, if I could, also get you to roll me 2 D100s. Or just a single D100, sorry. 1.
Okay. Winters is going to use guidance before when he takes the thing.
Oh, nice, okay. So you touch a willing creature. Of course, you're willing. Once before the spell ends, 1d4 added to the number rolled. Cool.
Yep.
Oh.
I'm gonna add a D4 to that.
One thing, though, here's the downside of this that I'm reading. This is an ability check, not a save.
Okay, never mind.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's a 9, and then...
It's an 8.
Oh, boy.
So you were, unfortunately, you will be gaining 2 points of exhaustion tonight.
Hell yeah. And a D100.
Wow.
Ouch.
That is an 11.
Maybe it's one of those times where rolling low is good.
Let's see. Let's check the handy dandy chart here.
Oh boy.
First off, the handy dandy chart here. So for the first level, you will get disadvantage on ability checks like skills. And then the second level is your speed is cut in half. So you definitely feel the wear and the tear of this by the morning. As for an 11, Winters, you're going to realize that just down the way, just as the sun's kind of come up, you're going to notice like a small group of soldiers. It's probably a 4x2. So there's 4 of them in 2 rows. They're making their way down the road. And out of nowhere, you just kind of see 1 fall, then 3 fall. The rest of them are going to turn, get into fighting stance, and then you're just going to see them like dust in the wind disappear.
And is this like corporeal? Is this real, or is it just like he?
You make me a
He's
quick
imagining
perception
this.
check.
Okay.
They seem translucent, almost. So they don't seem to have a physical form. They also don't seem necessarily dangerous, really. Your best guess, maybe a ghost?
He's gonna keep looking in that direction and just kind of be very confused. Like, what's going on over there? Does anything else happen, or?
No, that will be your only occurrence.
Okay.
The next morning, though, the birds will softly chirp. The wind is all but died down, and you kind of get that the kind of cool sensation as the sun rises over the side of the earth there, and you get that warm feeling and glow from the heat of it as dew kind of forms on the grass around you guys while you sleep. The sun will rise. We'll start there. Tensel, you said you wanted to do something?
Yeah, he would definitely wake up earlier than most just because of his elven trance. Only needing half the time, thankfully.
Yeah.
And he'd kind of take some time to himself, check on Jericho first and see if he's sleeping well. And then walk a bit away from the camp so he doesn't disturb anyone and start training on his own again.
Okay.
Trying to get a better feel for the swords and the weight of them and trying to figure out how to make them flow better, if that makes any sense.
Okay. So, say about right there?
All right.
Just kind of like behind the cart area, a little bit ways away. So that charred heap is probably about 20 feet down the road. It's not accurate as far as this picture. But yeah, you'll get a little bit of training in. I'd say, I don't know, with where you're at, you might not perceive what Winters is, so I don't think I'm going to make you make a roll.
Okay.
Who would like to awake next in the early morning?
Nia was probably one of the first ones to go to bed, so she'll be up.
Okay.
Charity's up at sunrise praying, like always.
Okay.
Maggie actually slept last night, so she's probably still asleep, knowing Maggie because she's always been the last one up.
All right. Let's see. Think here. Where would Charity make her prayer to? Would she kind of go over towards the trees and just kind of get in that nature-like stance, or would she be more towards the road, where it's kind of a lot more flat, dirt-like, and you can actually lay out incense or anything else that you might like?
Probably closer to the road for exactly that reason.
Okay. I'd say she would be in the area if she would like to make a perception check. Although, it would probably be at disadvantage since you're praying. Because you would have most of your focus on that. So that's a 6.
Can we just go off my passive then?
Let's see here. What do you have for your passive?
14.
I'd say that's not enough. It's just one away.
Alrighty.
I would also say that Edmund is also still asleep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Poor kid.
He might have even woke up, looked around, said nope, flipped back over, and pulled the blanket over his head.
A true teenager.
Such a teenager. Hey, great mind.
After a while, Tensel would finally stop his training and go check on Jericho again, seeing if Jericho had gotten up. And
Sorry.
he'd just be looking over Jericho, maybe lightly touching the sore leg, and seeing how he would react to it.
I would say that Jericho is not awake yet. The tenderness of his arm, even when he's asleep, he might move away from the touch. Like I said, it's not life-threatening. And from what you can see, it's gone down a little bit and discolored, but not by much. And might be there for another day or two. Maggie, I believe yours was, 3 days? 4 days?
Yeah. 3.
Okay. Yeah, so you as well, if you were to look at wherever you might be hurt, it's going to be about the same. Let's see here. Nia.
That's me.
I know this is probably not the greatest thing, but if you could please roll me a perception.
Sure. She's like, do.
That's
Yeah.
Even with a 7, you might get a slight hint of like cooking meat.
That smells tasty. And she'll like look around and notice that no one's cooking. Like, oh, that's weird.
I think once it hits her, the next person it might be is eventually it's going to get to everybody, but right now the first people besides you is going to notice is Maggie, because where she's sitting, Charity, since she's making her prayer, and Edmunds not making any roll. He's passed out.
Maggie's gonna wake up a little bit and be like, "Oh, who's?" And then she's gonna notice nobody's cooking, and then she's gonna be like, "What?" And she's gonna like start looking around, very groggy though, but she's gonna be looking around.
Do you reckon someone set up camp near here?
It'd be weird that we didn't see them.
Or at least hear them.
Perhaps it would be in our favor to start moving on.
Maggie's gonna nod, and she's gonna slowly get up, and then she's gonna go over to Edmund and like shake him a little bit, not roughly, but just like as like a wake up. Edmund, we need to go. Wake up.
Yeah, we need to go. Yep.
Edmund, get up right now.
No. Oh no.
Boy, I swear to Christ.
She's gonna poke him like really hard in the ear and then wiggle her finger. Wakey wakey!
Okay.
If that doesn't get him up, nothing will.
I'm just wondering the legitimacy of that, because he's got his head kind of stuffed under the blanket. He's got like this little burrito roll over him. So
I mean, it can't be such a thick blanket. I can't tell where his ear is.
Well, I don't know.
Otherwise, it's not going to fit in a backpack.
Well, a lot of the times they can be rolled up and kind of strapped to the back of them.
I mean, I will poke him between his toes. I'll poke him
That
somewhere
would
really
work.
awkward.
That would work very better if you want to like mess with his feet, because he does have his boots off.
There we
Yeah. My parents used to do that to me, and I fucking hated it.
So yeah, he'll feel it. He'll kind of sit up thinking, maybe there's a bug, so he'd freak out a little bit. and kind of huff, his hair kind of like in his face a bit. Just this, not really a death glare, but like a I'm mad at you glare.
She'll just wave at him and just keep packing up the camp.
Maggie will be doing the same. By the way, Corey, are we even close to Nottingham? Just curious. I'm wondering where we're at on the map.
Map-wise, let's take a look over here. So you guys got a good bit of travel that night. Got good bit of travel that morning, but not a good bit of travel that night. As far as it goes for you guys right now, you seem to be about a little over a day towards Nottingham. If the donkey was feeling good and you could make good strides, you might be able to make it before nightfall. Looking at your situation currently, you might not make it before night. You might have to camp one more time.
Okay. And what day is it again? The 19th, 20th?
Let me double check our notes here. Let's see. The last day for you guys was... the 10th of Solmorums. That puts you at the 11th.
And the festival is... Was I thinking that the festival was on the 20th or the 19th? Was I thinking that? Or where's my brain at?
So the festival is the 26th.
Okay, so I was at least in the 20s. Okay.
So you guys have 15 more days. If my math is correct. And this is with your slowed pace, by the way. This is not... Because in like a day or two, you might get your donkey back. So... Let's see. Worst case scenario.
Wait, Brimley Lake, are you crazy? I see where that arrow went. It's not going near Bruma Lake.
I'm trying to get it to work properly here.
No, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Let's see. There's 100. And this is with... So if all things go well, and in a couple of days, the donkey is feeling... Jericho, he's feeling up to it. You might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days until you reach Kroka, which would save you probably about 10 days left. That's only once you get out of Nottingham.
And then you said like 2 days max to Nottingham?
Yes. So, all in all, you got about 8 full days of travel from where you're at currently, and 15 more days till the event.
I was just curious, how did the donkey get hit in all this situation? I don't remember the donkey being hit last time. I was just curious because I was just trying to get that correct in my head because that was bothering me.
At one point, it had landed into the thing, but before that, it was kind of flying around, and you guys missed perceiving it once or twice. At one point, in order for it to actually be in an area that you guys could see because it slowed down, it ended up running into the donkey. Which kind of made it easy for you guys to perceive it, because this thing is quick. Well, it was quick in the air. It's faster than down under. Thankfully, the only thing that was transferred was the nasty ick on it.
Tensel, seeing all the girls getting up and moving, he's going to go and try to wake up Winters and then help pack everything up.
Oh,
Okay.
Winters is still awake.
Oh, yep.
Oh.
Yeah, when you come to go see him, he's just doing push-ups and kind of just like swinging his sword and kind of raising his shield, that kind of stuff. But he will, when you come towards him, help you pack everything up into the cart.
I would say, Winters, you might find yourself feeling a little bit more resistance towards your push-ups. Maybe you might feel that, or find that you can't do as many as you normally could.
Oh yeah, he definitely feels the exhaustion kick in. Like before, it was like it was like the adrenaline, and now it's just like everything's hitting him all at once.
Winters, you should really get some rest.
Yeah,
You're really worn out.
Don't worry, I will.
I'm sure we can make a cozy spot for you on the cart.
Yeah. Thank you. And he's just very, like, exasperated and just like,
Well, and it might be good to have him, make a little bed in there, and then you can sleep in there, and then that's all Jericho pulls. So, I mean, because really the cart itself isn't that heavy. And then with just you in there, that's not even that much weight. So he'll get, like, a good rest. And then by the time you're up, we can put Jericho in the cart again.
I'm fine with a small space to sleep. I don't need that much room.
Well, it's more for Jericho's benefit than yours, if I'm being honest. Just letting you know you'll be really comfy.
Okay.
Of course, with that, Tensel will start helping pack everything up. And then he'll make sure to have more of the rope in front of Jericho so he can help pull.
Okay. Alrighty. So what is the exact full plan here? We've got Tensel holding a rope, pulling the cart. Was there anybody helping him with that, or like what was the plan?
Well, I think Jericho and
Yeah.
Tensel are going to pull the cart together.
Okay. I missed Jericho's name there. All right. Let's see here. With that, I don't think there's. Jericho's having tough times, but with a little bit of help, you guys should be back up and running again. Let me see here.
And we're only putting, like, some of the stuff and Winters in there.
Yeah. Let's see. With that lighter end kind of stuff, I think you guys might go back to, I'd say about 26, 27 miles per the day. And through this movement, there's really, just getting up to Nottingham, there's really nothing else around. So, if you like, we could probably skip past that, save a little bit of time, because nothing's going to occur in that time. And you can arrive at the gates of Nottingham.
Woohoo! Oh, nope, that's okay. Does, Jericho start feeling any better on that second day?
You're seeing visually a little bit of change, but physically not by much. It's still kind of babying the leg, but it's not, it's not horrible, and it's definitely not getting worse at this point. It's definitely getting better.
Maggie's going to look at the group when they get to the gates in Nottingham, and she's going to be like, this is probably not going to make anyone happy, but Jericho's become more of a problem than a help. We've had to carry him twice. I love him, don't get me wrong, he's a cute donkey, but we've had to take care of him twice. It's almost... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
With all due respect, we are pushing him very hard to get to Kroka.
Not more than we would push any animal that's pulling a cart for the day.
But we have pushed him day and night before.
No, he's always had a break.
Well, to be fair, most animals don't sleep in a cart through the day. Donkeys aren't nocturnal, so it's not usual for it.
Tensel would, at this point, he'd be like positioning himself in between the donkey and the group.
No, not saying anything bad, but, I kind of agree with Maggie. Maybe, like, this isn't the life for him, and he'd be happier with some little girl in town, and we could get a little bit of a stronger donkey. Or horse.
You're going to see Edmund physically get upset with that comment. Oh, so just because he's not, up to your standards, you're going to get rid of him, right?
No, I think what I'm trying to say is that I don't think this is a good job for him, and I think he's miserable and getting hurt.
I think we all are in that same boat. It's not just the donkey.
No, but we have free will, and the donkey doesn't.
How do you suppose that the donkey doesn't have free will?
When have we ever said, "Hey, donkey, would you like to just be free?" And even if he did go free, he would just die. He is a
that's communication, not free will. It's free will when you eat something because you choose to eat that. It's not free will when you speak. That's communication. And
I'm
he's going
saying
to be
he doesn't have free
physically
will
upset.
because he's chained to the cart all day. We are using him as a tool. And I don't think that we're using him very wisely or nicely. And he's suffering for that, and it's our responsibility to take care of him.
He'll back down a little bit at that comment. That seems to be something that he seems to be agreed upon. He'll kind of nod. That's right.
I'm not doing it out of he's not a necessity. I'm doing it because I know he means a lot to Tensel, and I know he means a lot to Winters. And if he has a better life grazing somewhere else, maybe it's better for him. You know, like Ania said, maybe this life isn't just cut out for him. And I know we've been pushing him hard, and I'm sorry about that. But maybe we should just sell the cart and not sell, or do whatever you please, but maybe we should just continue on foot.
That would cut our time down very, a lot. The whole reason why we essentially joined forces here was to get to Kroka as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think we do need to keep the cart and
Maggie,
some kind of animal to pull it.
Maggie's gonna raise her arms. I'm just suggesting. It was just a suggestion. I'm not saying it's final. I was just suggesting.
I understand. It's just that we're all in stressful positions. We all don't really have a choice. We're not doing this because we want to hurt him or to push him beyond his limits, but because we have to.
But that's what I'm saying is we don't have to. We could give him some time to rest here in Nottingham and get a fresh donkey or a horse for the rest of the journey. I mean, we can always come back and get him, but I don't think it's very nice with him limping this much for us to keep pushing him for another however long until we get to Kroka.
You make
But
it
I agree
sound
with
like he's some
Maggie.
kind of fruit, but in actuality, we're going to have the same issue with any other animal we bring. Whether it's a
Except
horse
that
or a
we're-
donkey.
But the other animal hasn't already been traveling for this many days.
How long have you guys owned this donkey before you guys were traveling?
We kept him with us for a couple of weeks. He's always been a faithful companion.
So he's far more used to it than most animals in a stable would be. At least one that
I
you're
mean, most
purchasing.
animals in his... He's limping. He is lame and he is hurt.
So is
And
Maggie.
unless you guys want to take days...
What?
And Maggie can choose to keep going.
I don't know. I kind of feel like you're seeing him more of an object than a creature.
Did you just compare me
Because
to a
that's
donkey?
how we're... That's
no,
how
I
we're
compared you to
using
saying
him.
that you were injured, Maggie, not that you're less than a donkey. Because you are injured. You've been hurt. And he's going to kind of look at your hand. Look, it's discolored.
Maggie's gonna try to hide it. I'm fine. I'm fine. I promise.
And I'm not treating him like an object. It's treating him more like a child. We have to decide what's right for him.
I don't think
What's
we
best
do.
for him?
He's not ours. He's theirs. And he's going to look over to Gunny and Winters. Or, sorry, Tensel and Winters.
It was just a suggestion, guys. I wasn't trying to start a fight.
We're not making any grand sweeping things. We're just saying what our opinion is. You're the one who's starting the fight here.
Well, maybe because I'm aggravated on people who think they can make plans with people who can't even speak for themselves.
That's the only people you can make plans for.
Well, I didn't get asked when freaking what's-his-name made plans for me. And I could speak. Why is it any different now that we think it's right to do this plan for a donkey?
Because we have asked you.
Sebastian is gone, and we don't treat you like that. We ask your opinion every time.
Guys. This isn't something we need to be arguing about so intensely.
What he said.
I think it's really important, but that Edmund understands this. And he's obviously upset about it. I don't think it's just something we should let it go. If he's gonna be upset, we should talk it through.
by this point. I mean, Tensel's getting a little intimidated by the group, and he's kind of just sitting there next to Jericho, just petting him.
Because this feels like this is a bigger issue for you, Edmund. I don't think we're really talking about Jericho.
Well, maybe we're not. Maybe I don't give a shit. Maybe I'm just angry, and maybe I just want to scream.
Then do it, Edmund. Do it. Let it out. Stop lashing out at the people that take care of you. Do it. Do what you have to do.
Oh, shit. Okay.
It's better to not hold it in. Because if you hold it in, then it bottles itself up, and then it becomes something you don't want it to.
He is going to... I mean, he's going to be listening to Maggie. He's going to turn. He's going to physically be frustrated. He's going to walk away, stamp, and just pure frickin' anger. You can see the just... There's something bottled up. Just pure. You're going to almost notice like a shift in aura, and then you're going to notice he's going to scream. And it's going to be a little weird and muffled, but he is going to cast, without knowing, a spell called Shatter, which, if anybody knows what it is, it's a sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of your choice within range, which he's going to choose. Let's see, its full length is 60 feet, so he's going to choose about 45 towards like a tree off in the distance, and just let it loose. It's going to take a good kind of chunk out of the bark. It looks shattered and cracked. It's not physical damage, to say the least. This is like a thunder force damage of some sort of spell of some kind.
So you said it's not loud?
Okay, so no, you probably don't hear it. You'll just see the effect. And he'll be seething, like angry, like... This really wasn't about the donkey. Nia got it right.
Maggie's going to be very scared at first, but then she's going to go over to him and put her hand on his shoulder in a very tender way, and she's going to be like, "We know you've been through some bad things, Edmund, but we care about you, and we want you to feel loved. Just don't lash out at us. Talk about it to people, okay?" And she's going to hug him, putting his head in her shoulder and just rubbing his back. There's nothing wrong with letting out your emotions, Edmund. Emotions are what make us human. Emotions are what make us whole. And they give us the greatest gifts. And the greatest curses. And she's going to kiss the side of his head a little bit, trying to calm him down.
If you don't have inspiration, please give it to yourself.
I do, but thank you.
That was really good. I think
Thank you.
He would just stand there. He would accept whatever you say. He wouldn't talk back. He's just...
Will you at least wrap his arms around me? Give me a hug, a proper hug.
I mean, after a while, it's going to take him a minute. I mean, he's blown all of that, like... kind of physically just drained and emotionally drained as well.
Is he going to start crying? Because I know I would after that moment.
No, I still don't think that he would allow that for himself.
Okay, cool. Well, Maggie's just going to rub his back, and then she's going to look at the others to just go into Nottingham, and she'll catch up.
Yeah, I'll stand there and wait.
Tensel would try to coax Jericho into Nottingham.
Winches is going to follow Tensel.
Okay. For those who are entering Nottingham, Nottingham is a smaller town. Roughly not many buildings. They have 2 blacksmiths. One actually has... One you can't see through the main road. There's actually signs kind of leading you in that general direction. There is, upon entering the gates, there is a small area to the right of you, which is mostly the bunkers for the guards of the town. There doesn't seem to be much foot traffic there. There's maybe roughly 2-3 people around the area. And as you get to look more towards town, you'll see a little bit more flow of people. So there's not a lot of buildings, but maybe these buildings are populated by more than just, 1 or 2 people, maybe a family or so. This seems to be a family-like place. The roads will become cobblestone after a while, getting out of the dirt, leading more into town, and you can kind of see just the edge of this stone opening in the center of town. And so we can pick up either outside or inside town, wherever you guys would like first.
I do know that Charity would like to kind of lag behind and talk to either Tensel or Winters, depending on which one isn't surrounded by everyone else.
Well, Nia is hanging back for Maggie and Edmund, so the 3 of you can just go into town together.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So Charity would look at the both of them and say, "I'm sorry about the fight over over Jericho. As you can imagine, emotions are always interesting to deal with."
No worries. We've had a long, stressful week.
Maybe now we can get the rest. You can just see that Tensel's just shaken by the whole thing.
Well, it's good that we finally made it to a town. We can take some time to relax, I think. At least a couple hours before we get moving again.
Should we head to the inn or get some rooms?
The inn would be good. I think everyone could use a drink.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna try to find a place for Jericho to get some rest.
Let me come with you. It's the least that I can do after everything that you both have done for us. If Winters, you want to go with everyone else to find the inn?
Sure. And Winters is going to go back out to where Maggie, Nia, and Edmund are, just to kind of stay together.
You'd probably run into Nia because she's just kind of waiting for them with them in eye shot, but not actually with them.
Yeah, before he gets back to you, let's go ahead and transfer over to outside, because I think it might be a bit of a walk and some things might happen during that time. So after this kind of moment where, emotions run thick and he just, he can take it, he lets it out. There is the embrace. What after that? Because he would most likely be silent. What would be the general thing to do next, Maggie?
Maggie would just let him have his moment, and then she would push him away gently, trying to get eye contact with him and be like, "Let's get into Nottingham. Let's go get a fresh meal, get you showered, get you some clothes. How does that sound? Okay?"
Yeah.
She's gonna cup his face a little bit like a mother would, and she's gonna be like, "And we'll talk more, okay?"
Sure.
She's gonna raise her eyebrow, like a mother would, okay, but you know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah, no, he's gonna give you that typical, oh, come on, I answered you kind of teenage look.
Maggie's just gonna roll her eyes and she's gonna be like, "Go on."
And he'll walk into town.
And Maggie's going to look at Nia and Winters, and she's going to look at Winters and she'd be like, "I didn't mean for that to start. I'm so sorry."
Don't worry about it. I understand where your concerns are coming from.
Thank you. And before we go in, Winters, I want to say thank you so much for coming and helping us. You didn't have to. And I appreciate you so much. And you're helping take care of Edmund and all of us, and we just kind of fell into your lap. So thank
It's
you.
all right. Thank you for taking us in as well.
Maggie's gonna laugh a little bit. She's gonna be like, how have we helped you?
Well, definitely never fought a dragon before, so that's gonna be interesting.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it through that way, I guess that's a good way to pay you back. She's gonna look like, oh, okay, but all right.
Nia like exchanges a look with her and like shrugs, like, cool, I guess.
Yeah, like she was like, that's not things. Okay, she's like, all right, whatever floats your boat, my dude. And then she's gonna be like, and she's gonna look inside her pocket to be like, oh, I'm gonna treat everyone. And then she's gonna look and she's gonna be like, I think I'm gonna perform at the tavern tonight to try to get us some money because I have none. And then she's gonna walk. Sorry, what, Nia?
Oh, that would be fun.
Would you like to perform with me, Nia?
Oh,
Maggie's gonna look really excited, by the way.
I mean, sure. All I can really do is paint, but I mean, I can try. I might ruin everything, but it would probably be fun anyway.
Yeah, you could tell stories while I play music.
I don't know that stories are really my strong suit.
Maggie's already gone. She's already walking in front, being really excited about all this. She's gonna be like, and then we're gonna tell stories, and my music will be great in the background, and da 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 da. And she's just like going off and like, back to the Maggie everybody knows.
Who was it heading to the inn?
It was Winters, but Winters came back to go. Yeah.
Okay.
So Winters, Nia, Maggie, Edmund, and Charity.
Okay.
Edmund and Charity were...
Charity's gone to, with Tensel to
bad.
find Jericho place.
Yeah, that's what I was like, wait, never mind, sorry.
Too many people.
Standing outside of an inn, you can look just above it. It's got a picture of a very different bird. Interesting. And it's going to have like a splattering here and there of different colors. And just underneath of it on the sign, it will say the speckled finch. And if you guys head on inside, you're going to get this whole kind of bird vibe. It's got stuffed birds practically everywhere, and all different kinds. You've got smaller kind of birds that maybe have been found and stuffed and kind of perched on little branches near the doorway. You've got the larger kind of, maybe even like a fanned, what are they called? A peacock with its tail feathers nice and large just over top of the guild holder. And, speckled throughout everywhere are just birds.
Hey, somebody really likes birds.
Maggie's gonna look around like, it's so cute!
Definitely eccentric.
Like, if they were in an anime, her eyes would be like stars, and she'd be like, and like jumping all over the place looking at everything, you know what I mean?
So, guys, as you guys enter town, you make your way from this interesting argument, which seems to have come about for just emotions. You guys kind of try to collect yourself after some rough days and buckle down in hopes of a new favorable adventure with maybe less aggravated and just tired symptoms. And I think that's where we will pick up next game. Hi everybody, thanks for coming to this new episode, and we hope you guys really enjoyed it. I know we did, and we're gearing up for something pretty exciting in the next couple episodes, so it might be pretty fun. Just remember to follow and subscribe on iTunes, Podbean, and Google Play, just to get those next couple episodes out, those really fun things that are about to happen. If you want to talk to us, hit us up at opportunityroll1word.podcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon. We're on YouTube. YouTube's a little short right now of content, but we're getting there. We've got some ideas we're throwing out. It's just going to kind of work all together really well. Like our Facebook and subscribe. We put out information there every so often. You can also get links to the newest episodes we put out. If you want to just talk to any of the players, feel free to send us an email. As I said, we want to thank Purple Planet Music for all the music that we use in the background, that nice setting music that gets us into the mood for role-playing, and we want to thank Kobold Press for their Tomes of Beasts. I've been reading through this thing and prepping for a lot more to come, and I can see that in the future I'm going to be using a lot more of these cool creatures. So, without much further ado, everybody, thank you for listening, and remember, keep your opportunities open.